All right. So it's Monday morning. I decided not to go to work today because a lot of things. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. Got a kind of a ho-hum attitude today. People were pissing me off on the road. So I decided to work on the car instead of going into work since I didn't get much done on the car on Friday. I had envisions of going into work and making all kinds of money, but that ain't working out, so fuck it, I'm gonna work on the car. So what I did here this morning here is I got my rack last week, and hey, if you notice my glasses are all jacked up, it's not because my glasses are bent, it's because I got one ear lower than the other. They're just jacked up. So just like my hand is jacked up, my ears are jacked up too. So we all got problems, right? So anyhow, I got a rack conversion kit for my car, and it bolted up pretty nice. I did it this morning. Let's see if I can get you around to the side, get you a better view of it. And I would say, by the time I took it out of the box and put it on, it took me about an hour, so not too bad. Bolted up nice, I like it. I think it's really gonna do the trick. It looks good on the car. Modernize the steering. I know some of you guys are gonna say, hey, the C3 steering is good enough. Well, yeah, it was good enough in 1962, and this is 2016. I think the old vet needs an upgrade. What is that from Batman? This vet needs an enema. And that's the way I take it. I'm taking the attitude on this Corvette. It's kind of gonna be more of a retro mod. So, and I'm gonna try to modernize as much as I can, or what I think is worth modernizing. Like the steering and suspension. That's the old vets ride like crap. I don't give a shit what anybody says. So we're gonna make it ride nice, and we're gonna make it steer nice, and we're gonna make it stop nice. I think that's a good goal. So I got this rack on, I like it, bolted up nice, looks cool. The only bitch I got is two small things. There's a lot of weld spatter on a couple of brackets, and it's under the car, so nobody's gonna see it except for me, realistically, and it's back behind something, so nobody's gonna see it. And it looks a hell of a lot better than what Chevy did when they put these Corvette frames together. They sure did a crappy job of welding these things, and messy when they put them together at the factory. So it looks a hell of a lot better than that, so we're winning on that side. The other thing is it didn't come with enough washers. It's a small thing. I like to put washers on the bolt and the nut side. It's the way my dad taught me. It's the way I do it. So I always end up with short of washers, whether it's this or anything else, because I guess nowadays you only put washers on one side. And that's just not the way I do it. So I always end up short. So I forgot my GoPro too. So actually, because I was going into work, I wasn't gonna work on the car. I don't have the GoPro. I didn't forget it. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep, like I said, and I just got a rotten attitude because people were driving like idiots on the road. By the time I got to the shop, I was just so wound up tight from people tailgating me and acting like assholes. Man, if you need to tailgate somebody in the morning because your job's so damn important, and you think that that's gonna get you there quicker, wake up earlier. It's really not that hard, man. You know what I'm saying? And if your boss is gonna fire you because you're 5 minutes late, find another goddamn job. It's just not worth it. I don't get it. We want to put ourselves in danger. We want to put the person in front of you in danger because you can't get your ass out of bed. And I just don't get it. We as humans, I would have hoped by now, would have got to the point in life or point in society where we have compassion for our fellow human being, which we don't. We actually have less compassion, I think, now for our fellow, less compassion and less patience for our fellow man than we did years ago, in years past. Even in my lifetime, I've noticed it. And what it is, I don't know why. I really don't. It's like we feel like that our lives are more important than anybody else's. And we're not, man. None of us are getting out of this thing alive. It's just, we're not. And within a very short order of time, man, we're going to be dead and forgotten about. I mean, you just think about the most important people in the world, and within a relative short amount of time, they forgot. You know, a pretty good example is say Ronald Reagan. Whether you liked him or not, people knew who he was when he was alive. You go talk to some 18-year-old, 16-year-old person, and more than likely they won't know who he is. Even though he was an actor, senator, president, controversial one, some love him, some hate him. And he's forgotten. So are anybody going to remember me 2 weeks after I'm dead? Probably not. So, I mean, it's the same with you, bro. So just keep that in perspective. Your life really isn't that important other than to yourself and a few people. And the person, so you need to relax and go through life and be happy and be relaxed and just unwind. Have some compassion and patience for your fellow human being. That's all I can think of. You know, and some great examples are when you're driving and you buzz a dude on a motorcycle. Just think, man, you're in a 4,000-pound car and he's on a 800-pound motorcycle with a piece of frickin' plastic on his head. You know, if he wipes out, he's gonna really get hurt. It's just like a guy on a bicycle, you know, and I don't know why people in cars hate motorcycles and bicyclists and pedestrians, because I've seen people almost get run over in crosswalks because some dude in a car is impatient. Or I've had friends that have gotten killed because they've gotten run over on a bicycle. Now, I know guys in cars will bitch and say, people on bicycles don't abide by the law. Well, fuck you. Neither do people. You're an idiot if you think that, because people in cars don't abide by the law. I can go right out here on the highway and stand there and people are speeding by at 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, right? I can go to a right-hand turn where you're supposed to stop before you proceed. And 99% of the cars that'll go by, no, 99.9% of the cars won't stop before they proceed on a right-hand turn. They'll just roll right through it. You could ask any police officer this. He could sit there and hand out tickets all day long. But they don't, because they got this better to do. And they don't want to be, you know, they're lazy just like me. They want to make their job easy as possible. So, and another good example of people not having patience for their fellow human is go to the grocery store and stand at the checkout line and wait for some old lady to come through and pull out her checkbook and look at the person behind them, and they will just go, oh my God. It's like, hey, man, you're that important that you can't have a little patience for that other person to write a check? Your life really isn't that important. I don't give a shit what you say, so just relax. Anyhow, enough of that. Fuck it. I'm gonna go to Napa. I'm gonna drink some coffee, get rid of this vein that's popping out of my neck here. Actually, it's always popping out. It's just like the veins on my arms. They're always popping out. And I'm gonna go get some washers, finish up my rack, maybe work on the motorcycle a little bit. hopefully get to the rear end, get some more shit done, more so than we did on Friday. So enough of that. I'm out. Okie dokie. So got that cross member in for the rear. We got the front finished, and I've been working on rebuilding cleaning the rear, and I'm just gonna start taking it apart here. See if we can get a better shot of it, and gonna put new reseals in it and check it out. Make sure it's not full of shit, and that everything's within tolerances. It feels pretty tight to me, but we're gonna check it out with some gauges and make sure she's all right. But first, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee. So let's get back on this rear end. So, spent the better part of the morning buffing up that front end, and I got the cross member in the rear here. And so we're starting in on that. Cleaned up their pumpkin, and I'm just taking it apart right now. I'm gonna put some new seals in it and tighten it back up. It actually feels really good, so I don't suspect there's any issues with it, just other than it might have a minor leak. But we will fix that. Get back to it. It's real hard to film with the iPhone versus my GoPro setup, so sorry for the thingy. Here is the pumpkin sitting on the layout table here, and the shop is all tore up, so I must be getting something done, right? So we'll get at it, and I'll show you some progress. All right, well, we got all the fans going, and here she is, all resealed. Had to tighten a few things up, but she looked pretty good. I'm gonna wipe her down with acetone, give her a coat of paint. I don't know if I'll get it in. It's getting pretty late, getting pretty hot, but we're gonna do our damnedest. See ya.